Like I said in my last video, there is a huge difference between being an introvert, having social anxiety, and then being a person who suffers from an avoidant personality disorder. Now, as quickly as possible, in the most lay way possible, I would explain what these three are. Now, being an introvert basically just means that you are someone who thrives in solitude. You enjoy your own company, you enjoy just being alone, you recharge, as a matter of fact, when you're alone, you renew your energy. One is the extroversion and the other is the introversion. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with falling on any one of the two sides. Now, going to social anxiety. Social anxiety, on the other hand, is actually you're more productive in your own world, in your own space when you're alone. Now, people who are introverts generally have friends, but not so many friends. They are not people who like to be in the midst of crowd. When they're in the midst of crowds, rather, it drains their energy levels and all. It's not because they hate people. They don't hate people at all. It's just their preference. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being an introvert. As a matter of fact, we have two core personality traits, and one is the extroversion and the other is the introversion. When a person who has social anxiety, what they would generally do is judge themselves before others judge them. They would always be concerned about what people say or think about what they are doing or what they are going to say. Someone who has social anxiety could even skip school just because they want to avoid having contact with people. Now, for someone who is introverted, they don't mind meeting people, but it's not their preference. But for someone who has social anxiety, they will avoid it because of fear of being judged. And for someone who is introverted, interestingly, can also skip school. For instance, let's say they were students, right? They could also skip school, but this time around, not because they are scared of what people see or of how they'll be judged. But an introvert would skip school because they want to renew their energy, they want to recharge themselves. While a person who has social anxiety is just concerned about how do I look, or how would people judge my outfit, or maybe because they're supposed to do something very important in school, they're just going to skip school because of that. Now, these two groups would sometimes avoid people, but for different reasons. A person who has social anxiety, it would interfere with their personal lives, it would interfere with their work, their school life, and a lot of other things. But for someone who is introverted, they are still going to do these things even though it's not their preference. If they avoid it, it's not because they are scared, not because they are unable to do it, but just because it is their preference. So what largely, in the most lay way possible, what largely differentiates an introvert from a person who has social anxiety is the core reason why they are avoiding people or why they are avoiding certain things. For an introvert, they are satisfied with life, they are satisfied with themselves. But for a person who has social anxiety, they basically just feel like they are insufficient. They are not doing or engaging in certain activities or certain things because they just think they are not enough. I hope that makes sense.